Hello, hello. How is everybody? It's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. I hope things are going good for you. And I'm here today to show you how to make this adorable mini Halloween Gable box. And that's correct. We're going to make it with a sheet of cardstock. So I'm using the Spooky Halloween bundle, which has this adorable little kitty cat and the broom. The DSP is from the Sweet, as is the ribbon. The Bewitched, though, is from the Sweet Halloween memory keeping stamp set. It's available for purchase on the 2nd of September, so get yours that day. It has Bewitched in here. I love this set. It's the one that I've been using, the crow and the candy corn. We're going to use the stars, and I think I've used everything on here except for the dots so far, but I'm going to try and add them before the end of the series. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to teach you how to make this adorable little box. If you have not signed up for my game night this month, it's going to be on the 28th at 8 p.m. I will have a Halloween video, but I'll be posting it at noon that day, and we'll be doing game night on the 28th. So if you want to participate, we're using the paper tags bundle. It's an online exclusive. It's pretty stinking cute. And you want to get it before they decide to put it on last chance, because it's amazing. And I'm going to show you exactly how amazing it is. So please sign up for game night. I will put the link in the video description so that you can sign up. All right. Let's work on our cute little kitten. Sorry for the coughing. All right. I'm going to put this in the corner. And we're going to put in our short side first. So this piece is 7 by 8.5, so you can get one out of each sheet, but it's worth it. It's so cute. We're gonna score at 1/2 inch. Oops, I jumped the line. I didn't mean to. It's okay. Most of that's gonna get cut off. 2 inches, 5 inches, and 6.5. Okay, so 1/2 to 5 and 6.5. Then you're going to rotate it to the long side, and you're going to score at 2 inches, at 3.5 inches, at 5 inches, and at 6.5 inches. Okay, so you're going to have quite a large grid. You can't really see it well. Let me go ahead and burnish all of the lines, and it'll be a lot easier for you to see what's going on here once we have a deep burnish. All right. And the last one is this narrow one. Okay. And then we're going to go this way, and then I will show it to you, and hopefully you'll be able to see it a lot better once it has the lines deeply etched. All right, so there it is. So you have some rectangles here. This one's wider than and these two are the same, but they're both wide. And then these are more narrow. Then you have a set of 3 squares, and then you have a little rectangle, and then of course skinny and skinny here. So we're gonna do quite a bit of cutting, okay? So let's just get started. The easiest way is to turn it this way, where you have your 2 wide ones right here. So we're gonna cut away these 2 squares right here, and these 2 here. We're going to leave just the skinny middle one on both sides. Okay, so you don't need the rest of these skinnies, but you do need it here. So let's just start on one side. I'm going to mirror to the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut away this 2-panel section. So the little skinny narrow rectangle and this rectangle right here. So we're going to get rid of that. So since we got rid of it on this side, we're going to mirror it on the other side. So I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to get rid of this rectangle and this long skinny rectangle right here. Okay. So now on this edge, I don't need this and I don't need this. I'm only going to keep this one. So let's get rid of this skinny rectangle right here. All right. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of it. We're mirroring, remember? So we're going to do the same thing on one side. We're going to do on the other. Okay. Now the last thing I want to do on this side is just cut up these score lines, and I actually want to angle just the inside because when we glue it, it's going to give us a little wiggle room in there, so you don't have to do the other side, just the inner piece. So I like to ride right up that score line and then angle, and that will cut away that score line, okay? So let's mirror this side to this side. So we're gonna do the same thing again. We're gonna come up this side right here, and we're gonna get rid of this rectangle with the skinny little rectangle attached to it. And I'm telling you, these large pieces are the only ones I'm saving. You can stamp stuff on them, they're big enough, so I like to keep those. But these smaller ones, we don't need those, okay? So we're cutting, we're just mirroring one side to the other, and all 4 of these sides are gonna be the same. So see, we just have the big ones. Now, same thing here, we're gonna get rid of this rectangle. And then we'll get rid of the one on the other side. And we're coming to the home stretch here, guys. We're almost ready to go. All right, and then again, we're gonna cut straight up this score line and then angle cut, which will get rid of that just in the middle, just like this side. Okay, again, come straight up this score line and then cut it away like this, okay? So these 4 pieces we're saving. We can stamp stuff on them. These pieces I'm getting rid of. If you want to do a screenshot, now's the time to do that. Okay, I almost put those scraps in the wrong scrap bag. I have my in color scraps separated, but I almost tried to put them in last year's in colors. Okay, so this is basically it. I just want to make sure that all my score lines have been cut away, that everything is straight and even. I just double check before I toss everything. I think we're good here. We look good. All right. So these 2 pieces, let's address those. Obviously, we don't have any square pieces in here. So we're gonna grab an old tag punch. So any tag punch that you own, that's what you want to grab. It doesn't matter if it's not the one I'm using. I'm sure that you save these. They're pretty amazing. I'm going to use this tag punch here. It was called the Scallop Tag Topper Punch. I love these punches. They do so many fun things. I don't get rid of my punches, so hopefully you have a tag topper punch. I will try and look for one in Amazon just in case you never bought one. So this is 2 inches, but this is bigger. You can still fit it in there, and I'm gonna make it work. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. See, what you wanna do, I'll show you from this side and then I'll turn it around. You wanna slide this in, and it's just gonna ride along that rail until it hits the back. So once it hits the back here, what you wanna do to get it even is you wanna lay this down, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna look at the edge of your punch here, and it goes over this score line and over that score line. What you wanna do is make sure it's even all the way back and even on both sides of the score line. You don't want it like not on the score line on this side and a ton on this side. You want to center it. So to center it, you kind of have to find a spot to center, and that's what I chose to pick. So I'm looking at this end, and I want to make sure that both of these are over the edge right about the same place, and then I'm just going to press my punch, which will punch this and this away. And there's going to be some overhang pieces. Don't worry about that. We'll fix that in a minute. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to slide this inside, flip it over, and then just make sure that I have the same overhang on the punch over that score line on both sides. And then I'm going to give it a punch, and we'll get rid of this, and then of course this piece right here. Pull this out of our punch. Okay, we're done with our punch. But see how versatile these punches are? They're pretty amazing. Hopefully I can find one, but I don't know if anybody else makes them. I've only purchased them from Stampin' Up. Okay, so now what you want to do is bring in your paper, your thin bladed scissor. So you're going to come right along this edge here, and you're going to cut from that part of the punch on an angle right to that end. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So right here on this edge, you want to put your blade, and then you want to angle your blade diagonal so that it goes towards that corner, and that gives you this end right here on your box. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to go right from this edge here right to the edge, and then right from this edge here right to the edge. All right, so these pieces here we're going to discard. So this is what you ultimately have for your box. So we're going to add our designer series paper to it. We're going to do it while it's still flat, and then I'll show you how to assemble the box. It's actually quite cool how it goes together. Okay, so the pieces that are raised up is the inside of the box, because you always bend toward the raised. So the indented pieces is the outside. All right, so let's talk about the designer series paper that we're going to be using. I am using this orange and white pattern. Okay, you're going to cut 2 of each of these pieces for each size. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that right now. So the first one, the biggest one, is 2 7/8 by 1 3/8. You're going to cut 2. The next one here is 2 7/8 by 1 inch, and you're going to cut 2. And then you have this piece here that is 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. So we're going to start with the squares, okay? And those go right on this middle piece, the one that has the little extra piece of, I just noticed that this one still has a smidge of that score line, but not very much. Okay, I just want to make sure that it's nice and straight. Okay, so we're going to glue those right on these sections. So let me grab my silicone. We're going to add this, and we're going to put our piece. I really like this white and orange. It's really cute. All right, so when we're holding it in this direction, we're going to put them up and down. It's not going to make sense right now, but it will eventually. Just do it, okay? Let's do the other one. I want the stripes going up and down. All right, so there's that one. All right, now we're gonna do the larger pieces right here, okay? So the biggest one, the 1 3/8 by 2 7/8. So we're gonna add that to this panel here, this bottom panel, like where the kitty cat is, okay? So we're gonna put it there. And we'll do the other one on the other side. So you can see the box mirrors itself, so we're gonna decorate all the sides. So this one's gonna go on this panel, and of course, it's going across. The other one, the only one that goes up and down is this one, okay? And I'll explain it all when I glue the box together, why these go up and down, not sideways like the rest. Okay, so now we're gonna glue this piece. So now, as you can see, this piece right here is too long. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just hold it so that it's raised a little bit off the bottom of the box, okay? And we're gonna mark it with a pencil. Where's my pencil? Here we go. So I'm just gonna mark it right here, okay? That's where it comes off of this box, okay? And then I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm gonna do what I did here. So I'm gonna go from this pencil mark, and I'm gonna go right to the corner of that piece of designer series paper. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, only this time I'm gonna go from the corner to that piece up at the top, okay? So there is that piece. We're gonna do let's glue it down, and then we'll do the other side. All right, so this one goes on the angled piece once you've trimmed it. So just like that, adorable. All right, let's do the other side. So we're gonna switch it over. We're gonna lay this up like that, and we're gonna mark, well, I'm gonna try and mark, hang on. Right here. Right here, and we're gonna angle from the corner to that line, and from that line to that corner. Okay, I think this one went a little crooked. There we go. All right, so let's glue this one down now. So once you've glued these down, your box is ready to be assembled, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Okay. So this one's gonna go down right here. So cute. All right, let's assemble our box. So I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about the assembly. So when you put your box together, these tabs here are gonna get hidden behind this tab right here. So we're gonna glue this one to this side and then this one to the inside. Does that make sense? So we're gonna put glue on this part of the tab. We're gonna hide it behind that one covered in designer series paper. So we're gonna fold it over and bring it back and just make sure that it's nice and straight. We're gonna do the same thing to the other side. So we're gonna put adhesive on this square and we're gonna hide it behind this one with the DSP. Now, as you can see, when I rotate my sides, what happens? The lines are now sideways. So that's why we have to put them when it's flat, straight up and down, because when you rotate it, now the lines still go all the way across, okay? Now this one's gonna glue to the inside. So we're gonna do also one at a time. And we're gonna glue this one and put it to the inside of this one, just like that. And the same thing with this other side. We're gonna put glue on it and glue it behind the one that has the designer series paper. All right, so there's that one. And then the last thing is we're gonna put adhesive on these little tabs, that the little small rectangles, and that gets folded inside, which gives you a really pretty finished edge on your outside here of your box. So it's well worth it. Okay. So cute. All right, so there's our box. Oops, I gotta get this to stick first. So let me hold on to it for a second. There we go. Sometimes it takes a second for it to grab. All right, so the next step is we are going to put our candy inside. You can find these at Walmart. They're Butterfinger skulls and they're quite cool, okay? So they fit in here quite nicely. So I'm gonna put one of those inside. Then I'm gonna use this and attach. So I'm gonna put my holes together and I'm gonna feed my ribbon through. So I need about 9 inches of ribbon. I have not cut my ribbon, but I will now. I thought I had cut it ahead, but obviously not. It's okay. I just want to make sure that I have about 9 inches or so of ribbon. And there it is. I'm using the Petunia Pop Iridescent ribbon. So cute. All right, so we're going to go through from one side through this hole and then through the other one. And I'm gonna try and get them even. I'm gonna tie a little knot. Well, I'm gonna cross them one time, okay? And then now I'm gonna tie my bow. So I'm just gonna hold that in place and cross my bow and cross my bow, and there we go. Just hold the knot and pull your loops until you get them the right size and you're happy with the way your bow looks. I like to move it around, get it to work and stand up and do all that good stuff that you want it to do. And when you're happy with it, if you need to put a mini glue dot, do it. Do what you got to do. All right, so there's our bow, okay? Now we're going to decorate our box. So I'm going to use the word Bewitched from the Sweet Halloween, which is the new stamp set that's coming out for memory keeping. And we're gonna ink that in Tuxedo Black ink. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ink that up. And we're gonna add that to a scrap piece. And I'm gonna trim this down, okay? Once I've stamped it. All right, so this is just a scrap of Petunia Pop. I'm gonna grab my mini guillotine cutter because it's what I like to use. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna make it about 5/8 of an inch or so. So I'm just gonna lay it on my guillotine and cut that down. See? Simple. And now this side, we're just going to banner the end. So you can use your banners pick-a-punch, or you can just cut it. So I'm just gonna cut it for right now. So I'm just gonna come in here and banner this end. And just make sure that it cut all the way to the end. There we go. All right. So I've already colored in my kitty cat. So I'm gonna tell you the colors that I used, okay? So I did my cat in smoky, slate, light, and dark. The darks on the muzzle, on the tail, the face, and the ears are light. And then I used Timid Tiger light for the dress and the inner ear, the nose, the hat. For the skirt, I used light Petunia Pop, and I used light Petunia Pop for the stockings as well as light Timid Tiger. For the broom, I used dark Crumb Cake for the bristles, and it stamps that black, so I didn't have to do anything. And we're just going to go ahead and adhere it. So I'm just going to use some dimensionals. And I don't want this to go all the way to the point because it's going to stick off our box a little bit. So let's go ahead and pull these off. And we're going to put it like more towards the top of that panel than the bottom. Okay, because we need to leave room for our little witchy poo cat. So I'm going to leave a little bit more room on the bottom than on the top. And we're going to add the Bewitched right there. And see how the tail is sticking off of our box, okay? All right, now for our kitty cat. Let's add our broom into her hand. So I like to get that part done. Put that in her hand right there. So cute. All right, so now we're gonna flip her over and we are going to put dimensionals on her. I'm just gonna use minis. So I don't want anything on the hat or the brim area. All of that is sticking up. So anything below the brim is fine. So right there. The tail is going to kind of stick off as well. So we don't really need anything on the tail. Maybe just on the tip. So I'll show you what I'll do with that part. And I'm going to put a dimensional on the bottom of this broom here. I'm going to add one more here, and then I'm going to use an edge. I'll show you. I'm going to go from this tail across into the face area. So I'm just going to grab one of these. So the tail has a little support right there, but it just comes across. So that's good for that. Let's put away our dimensionals because we are in the home stretch. I hope you guys have been enjoying this project and all of my projects. Let me know in the chat so far which has been your favorite project that I've done. Maybe you can't pick a favorite. I cannot. I did love my Frankie from yesterday, and I will have the link in case you missed that. At the end of this video, I'll put it in at the very end so you can just click and start watching that one right after this video. I also have a Halloween playlist, so if you missed any of my projects, they are all of my Halloween projects that I've ever made. So I'm going to put a little bit of wet glue right here because I think that's going to be right along the edge of that Bewitched, and I just want to make sure that there's something there to stick that down. All right, so I'm going to put my little kitty cat. See how that kind of lays right along that edge there? So cute. Look at her. And then the final step, of course, is we need some black stars. I think there's enough purple on here. The orange is pretty predominant, so I went with the black. I don't think the white won't show up. So let's just go with black. So I'm gonna do 2 of those. These are so fun. I really didn't like them at first. They felt weird, but I'm used to them now. But I just wasn't expecting my embellishments to be so smushy. I guess that's the right word. All right, so I think that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. I'll have a video on Friday at noon, and Saturday at noon, and then Sunday at 2, Monday at noon, and then I'll be live again on Tuesday. So I hope that you enjoyed watching me make this really cute mini Halloween Gable box, that you'll try your hand at it. It's actually quite a nice size, and it will fit quite a bit of candy in here. You don't have to use what I used. I think I'm going to do a video at the very end of the series where I show you the candy that I purchased once Halloween candy is actually in force in the stores. But I hope that you enjoyed watching me make this really fun video, and I will see you next time. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!